Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing something new and we're going to do a voiceover of a riding session I had with one of my horses. This is Flash and he's going to be the horse we're working with today. I thought I would show you my arena setup first. I have this hogsback with a cloud filler that has previously caused Flash a lot of trouble in the spooky department. And a hogsback is just a low, high, low again setup oxer. It encourages a nice takeoff distance and a nice round jump. These are trot cavaletti placed on a curve, and this is a simple vertical, and then farther away from us is a canter bounce cavaletti. So we'll start by looking at Flash's outfit of the day, or tack of the day. He's wearing my Wise Air monoflap jumping saddle. It is ventilated, it has a hole in the seat and holes on the flap, as you can see. It has air intake panels on the front of the knee rolls that help pump air and push it over the horse's back to keep him cool. This is a saddle pad I wanted to show with a bit of an awkward contour on the front edge, as you can see there. It's not my favorite pad. He's wearing his EquiSense sensor, which I really love, and we'll do a video on that later, and a Royal 88 fancy stitched padded breastplate. This is the matching Royal 88 bridle and reins. It's a simple snaffle bridle with cavesson noseband. It has an ergonomic crown piece and it is a monocrown snaffle bridle. I really do like these products quite a bit. For his leg protection, he's wearing a set of Cavalier Pro show jumping tendon boots. They're not technique boots, there's nothing fancy about them. He's got the open front fetlock boots, and the front boots are just hard plastic shells with a neoprene liner to protect the tendons. We're ready to get started here. To start off, I just have the filler suspended just slightly off the ground between the middle standards, and I approach and walk him over it in hand. Now he looks like totally calm and nonchalant about it, but in the past this filler has caused him quite a bit of trouble. I'm starting to think it's maybe the bright sunlight outside and the slightly glossy paint that is the problem, or maybe it's just not a problem anymore. I start my ride off by walking, usually on a loose rein, for at least 5 minutes, sometimes more like 10, 15 if it's pretty chilly out. And I played it in fast forward because it's not the most exciting thing in the world. I walked him over the fill a couple times under saddle, as you can see there. He's totally calm walking. He gets a pat and a treat because it is a pretty big deal when he does decide to be brave. He can be a bit of a chicken sometimes. Now we picked up and started working in the trot, and the main thing Flash is working on, especially in his flat work right now, being in front of my leg but onto the contact, not in front of or ducking behind. We start approaching the cavaletti, and you can tell when he's going through it because he does really lift his back and get more engaged in the hind end. And the cavaletti on a curve is great for this. It's easier for them to maintain their shape because you're maintaining the bend through the cavaletti. So here we go one more time through the cavaletti, trying to get him nice and supple, nice and forward, and then we approach our fill for the first time at a trot. And he takes it like an old seasoned schoolmaster, so this is turning out not to be a very great example of how to get a horse over a spooky jump because he's decided it's not spooky anymore. And as I continue here, I'm just continuing with this warm-up. There's lots of transitions happening. I don't show most of them because I try not to make these videos crazy long. So he's back to walk, back into trot. Transitions are great to get your horse engaged and paying attention and get them on the aids. And here we're back through the cavaletti and back to approaching the fence. And he's pretty much just being a star about it, like looking like he could pack a beginner over this thing now. I added the rail on top just to make the jump a hair bigger, and we continue our warm-up some more. Here we're about to go into canter work. See, I'm just swinging his haunches to the left, making sure he's off of my outside leg. And I ask for the depart, and he gives me quite a nice one. In the canter right now, he's working on just being balanced and under himself. There, you can see his scuffle through the canter bounce cavaletti is indicating that he is not in front of my leg, and he's ready to get very flat at any moment. We do lots of bringing him back to walk and lots of canter departs again to get his hind end under him, get his back up, and work on his balance and rhythm. here we come back to the trot, approach the fence, hop over, and carry on. Right now we're trying to put more jump in the front end of his canter, which he's doing fairly nicely here. You can see sometimes his back end gets a little scuffly, and that's just indicating he's not between my legs staying straight and into the bridle. He's kind of wiggling around and getting a little bit behind. Here I bring him back to a walk, and you can just see I'm working. All I'm doing is trying to kind of keep my hand steady and bump him up softly into it. And you can see him kind of fuss and then kind of pull on my hand and then drop back a little behind the vertical as soon as he touches the contact. There we have a really crooked approach. He was getting way too close, and because he was behind my leg, he didn't get up off the ground very quickly or very nicely in balance. He just kind of flopped right into the base of the jump and then jumped sideways over it to give himself a little more room. That was a much better fence there. And here we are coming back to the walk again, and we're going to work on the exact same thing. And being against the wall is a really good indicator. If they're between your legs, they will get quite crooked if they're not, and it just helps keep him a little straighter so I can focus on whether or not he's connected between my leg and hand or if he's being evasive in either direction. There we had another terrible approach. Not quite sure what was going on there, but that was ugly. And again, we're just working on the same thing down this long side. It's a little icy over here, so it's better to do the walking over there. Here is the same exercise, just from a bit of a different view. So we're not on the wall here, and you can see it's kind of trying to swing his hind end over instead of listening to my leg and getting in front of it. That is a little bit of an evasion. And I discovered that if I walked along the edge there and then cantered out of the corner, I didn't have to do the 90-degree turn so hard towards the canter bounce cavaletti, and it was a much more effective way to school it. There he has a nice bold approach to the jump, and then this direction we do the bending line for the first time. It was a really tight four, and you can see a little bit of a leap coming into the corner there, and all he's doing is trying to do a flying lead change, which is fantastic because usually he does a skip change where he breaks to trot for a microsecond, and there he was actually trying to bring his front end up and do the change. Now we've made the hogs back into a hogs back. You can see the low rail, then the medium rail, and then a low rail again on the other side. And we start jumping it now that it's a little wider, and you can see his takeoff point is just a little farther back. Even though the fence is no bigger in the center, the shape of his jump has changed, and that is the nature of this fence and why it's so beneficial in training. As the fence gets a little larger, I do chase him out of the corner a little bit. Here it's hard to tell because you can't see the full approach. And this one, to correct me chasing him out of the corner, I decided to take him back way too far. Got close to the base. You can see his front end doesn't snap up very quickly, and that is because I am taking him back way too far, and I'm not seeing my distance, and I'm like, whoa, 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 and there he rolls the rail with his front legs, which is often what happens when you have a poopy ride like that. So then I finally figure it back out, and you can see here his takeoff distance is much farther than the other way. He still knocks the rail. That one was his fault because he tucked his back feet under his belly forwards instead of kind of kicking them out or leaving them neutral to clear the fence. This was his final jump because I was very pleased with how soft and steady he stayed, and he put in just enough effort to get over it without making a big dramatic deal about it. Here's just a still shot of my jump so you can see the paint job and the cloud fill maybe a little bit better. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making it. Please like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram if you want to see more. Thanks for stopping by.